Mhm. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to our migraine strategy call. I am Debbie Waidl, certified migraine health coach specialist, here to help you actually end your migraines without having to use all of those quick fixes that you have been trying to use forever that are just not getting you the results that you're looking for. I am here with a very special guest today. I am here with a graduate of our Freedom from Migraine Method Complete program, Sheri. So Sheri, thanks for joining us today to share your story.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Amazing. So Sheri, as I said, is an alumni of the Complete program. She is a wife of 38 years, mom of 2 children, a grandma of 2 grandsons who are really young, 3 and 3 months. What a fun age.
Oh, they are so sweet.
Oh, I love it. And when you're not busy with all of your amazing family, you work professionally as a realtor, and you live in one area that is on my bucket list. You live on the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. I have just heard amazing things about that area. Is it as beautiful as everyone says?
It is beautiful. And it's coming up on one of our most beautiful times, the fall, when the leaves change. They are absolutely breathtaking.
I am going to have to remember that. I think that's going to be a bucket list trip for now, maybe the fall. That's
Oh,
amazing.
absolutely.
But Sheri is passionate about exercise. You definitely embrace movement, which who wouldn't in that area? You love to indulge in gardening and you enjoy cooking. And you have been battling cluster migraines since 2012. And this pain, as you said, was a constant companion for you until you embarked on the Freedom from Migraine method way back in March. You graduated at the end of July. And I am super excited for you to be able to share your story and actually share some hope with the women that are watching today. So for any of you that are on right now, give us a hello, let us know that you're here and tell us where you're watching from so that we can get to know everybody. Hey, Valentina. So Valentina's over in the other group, ladies. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, she is your lady to help you out over there. All right, let's dive right in, Sheri. So I talk to women every single day, and like 4 that I talked to this morning. And the number one thing I hear every single time is I've tried everything. And usually there's that word literally thrown in there. I've literally tried everything. They want to emphasize it, right? And make sure that I know they're different. They've tried it all. So what have you tried? What are the things that you tried over the years to end your migraines?
Oh, well, literally everything. Well, it started out, I went 4 years seeing doctors completely misdiagnosed. First time it went the trigeminal neuralgia route. And so after countless specialists, doctors, chiropractors, acupuncturists, physical therapists, massage, medications as far as prescriptions to conventional, non-conventional, specialty diets. I know there was probably things I didn't get to try, but I literally felt like I had exhausted all avenues. Being proactive, I was always self-conscious about taking anything, even a Tylenol, but it got to the point where I was desperate. So I was taking the prescription meds, and that caused huge anxiety just taking them, not knowing, if I was causing side effects or something else down the road. So I got to the point where when I came across your post, I was literally at a 3-month long binge of cluster migraines, level 10s. And I had just finished doing injections of a prescription med, which, like I said, that causes huge anxiety to me to even do something like that, when I saw your post. And it gave me hope. And I had lost all hope. So
yeah, well, that's easy to happen, right? When you try things over and over and over again, you're like, I'm destined, this is going to be it forever. So all of those things that you were trying, did you have an idea of why they weren't working for you?
They might have worked at first, or at least I thought they worked. It could have been a placebo effect. I'm not sure. So at first it seemed like, this is helping. But typically what would happen, especially on a medication, they would end up coming back, and they would come back even stronger than they were prior to taking the medication. And then I was always concerned about, I know you had mentioned how you took Advil every day.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law is on dialysis, and they told her it was due to taking way too much ibuprofen. I don't know if that's true or not, but
It can definitely impact your kidneys. Absolutely.
so again, just the anxiety alone from
Mhm.
taking anything would cause so much stress that, I don't know if I was just grasping at things that I thought were going to help, and I would think they would, but then with the cluster migraines, they would go into remission for me, at least at first. They would go into remission and come out a couple times a year.
Mhm.
But it got to the point the last probably 4 to 6 years, they would come out at any time. It didn't really matter if it was spring, fall, what it was. And 6 months at a time was the longest period that I had them pretty much every day without
Mhm.
ever a break. So again, I can't really say if the medications, I know they didn't work. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would never be here.
Absolutely. And we hear this so often, when I talk with people, they're like, well, I just started Botox and it's working, or I just started Emgality and it's working. But then 3 months later, when we talk to those same people, well, it's not working as well. No, it's not working at all, or
Emgality is the injection I was referring
yeah,
to. And at
yeah.
first, I thought it was great because it
Mhm.
stopped them, and I didn't have any for 6 months. But
Yep.
again, I had been on a cluster cycle that had lasted almost 6 months time as well. So typically, if I'd let it run long enough, they would go into remission. So I'm not sure if it was the injection or just kind of timing.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's two things to go along with that, right? We have to determine, first of all, do we want to keep taking medication for life? Because we know the side effects, as you mentioned, the side effects are not good, especially when we're looking at things like Topamax and all the triptans. If you actually read those pamphlets, you might have a hard time taking the med. So maybe you guys shouldn't read it now until we start helping you.
I was that type of person. I couldn't read anything or
Yeah.
research about it because I never would have used it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not telling anyone right now to stop taking their medication. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is we have to make that conscious choice of, are you willing for the rest of your life to take this medication and take the risks and the side effects? Or while you're on this medication and during the time that it actually might work a little bit, that's the time to actually figure out the root cause so that you can stop taking it. That's the kind of thing that we're talking about. So, all right. So we know that a lot of what you did was migraine management, not migraine elimination. And then you found us and you joined the Freedom from Migraine Method Complete program. How was that different than what you'd already been trying?
Never once had I ever scrolled across the electrolyte balancing, especially sodium. That was never brought to my attention, nor did I know that was even a huge factor of it. That was huge. But as the program teaches, it's not just one thing. It's the what do I want to say? It's the combination of all 6 areas that we work in. So electrolyte was huge, and then nutrition. I thought I was eating healthy. However, I thought fat was not good. And that's one of the key things is we need the healthy fats, especially with migraines. So changing that whole thought process, at first, it was kind of a stressor because I'm eating butter, which I do love, but I'm eating oil and butter. And I just was like, okay, I just have to give this a shot and see how it works.
Yeah.
So those were 2 huge things, but the nutrition in an area that I had never touched it on, like I knew that, the healthy fats were good for you, but we have to have them daily and throughout the day.
And I think it's important that we realize that not only is, looking at fats and those kind of things, you really have to figure out what's right for you, because there are some amazing diets out there, right? We can go through a million the list, the paleo, the keto, the Mediterranean, all of that. But it's really about finding that right combination for each person and not just following that cookie cutter approach. That's number one. And number two, really defining what healthy is. I have so many women that I talk to that tell me I eat healthy. Okay, well, tell me what that looks like. What does that mean? Does that mean that you're eating processed foods 4 days a week? Does that mean you're eating sugar only once a day? Does that mean that you're eating 2 meals a day? So really finding out what someone defines healthy as, then determining what healthy is actually for them, I think really makes a big difference.
Absolutely. And then
Yeah.
another key area was the whole mindfulness and stress reduction. And I always go back to the one coaching call where you ask someone when they're having difficulty, if, how's your stress level? And
Mhm.
most all of us, I'm guilty. We were like, well, I really shouldn't be any more stressed than usual, nothing, which you're like, that's the first sign that you have a huge amount of stress we need to work on.
Yeah.
So that was an area that I had never touched on, the whole mindfulness, which has been huge. Cheryl had recommended something I'm doing recently, and it's made a major, major impact in my quality and length of sleep, is she recommended the Balance app
Mhm.
for meditation and just mindfulness practice. And I've started implementing that 3 minutes before bed. I do unwind, and then my phone goes off until I go into bed, and then I put in my sleep meditation. I put it on for 20 minutes, and I must fall asleep probably within the first 5. But just little things like that have made such a huge impact that that was something no one had ever mentioned. I knew I needed to improve my sleep because I couldn't sleep. I would fall asleep for like an hour or two, and then I'd lay there for hours before I could even struggle to go back to sleep, which I knew that was key to getting rid of and healing from my migraines.
Absolutely.
And then just creating a sleep environment, a healthy sleep environment, which I wasn't aware of. So I've done that and implemented that as well. So now I sleep 7 to 8 hours at night in my own bed without having to get up. So
And how amazing is that? Because let's face it, how many of you watching right now are watching on the replay do not sleep well? Just comment sleep, because I'd be curious just to see how many of you aren't sleeping well, because it is such a common theme, and it is something that we have to work on. It is one of the 6 keys of inflammation, because if you are not sleeping well, we're not digesting food properly. You're not getting the minerals and nutrients you need from food. And if you're not getting what you need from food, hormones aren't being created. So for all of you ladies out there, they're telling me hormones is the cause of your migraines. It's not the hormones that we need to start with. We need to backtrack. We need to make sure the electrolytes are balanced, so the food is on track, so that you can actually sleep well, so that your body creates the hormones in there. Now we don't have to worry about hormone imbalance anymore, because your body is taking care of it. So this is the part of my job I love, how things stack on top of each other and how we can piece them together to get you to the point of sleeping well. Because as you remember, Sheri, sleep wasn't the first thing we worked on in the program.
nope.
It's kind of like half to 3/4 of the way through, because so many of the other things that we do will actually start promoting good sleep. We'll start getting you there. Yes, we do some more work. And you mentioned some tweaks that we do, and things that Cheryl gave you. And Cheryl is our mindfulness coach in the Balance Health Coaching. She's amazing. She gave you some tools to use. And I think you said 3 minutes. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's called Unwind, and it's 3. You can make it as long
3
as you want.
minutes.
I do the 3 minutes, and as you're focusing on your screen and your deep breathing, and then literally, I've come to a point before the 3 minutes is over. Sometimes my eyes are I'm just ready to go to sleep.
Who doesn't have 3 minutes? I mean, I know we're all busy and we all have an excuse, but I bet you almost every single person on here scrolls social media for 3 minutes a day. So get rid of the 3 minutes on social media and use that for this, for something like this, because what an amazing, amazing change that you can make in a couple minutes. Oh, we've got some amazing women on right now. Hello, Sheila. Hello, Heather. Hello, Wanda and Deborah and Kathy. Yes, thanks so much, everyone, for being here. So let me know again where you guys are watching from today. And if you have any questions for Sheri, please pop them in chat right now. Even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and give us #replay, drop your question in, and we will make sure that we keep an eye on this post, because we want to get you the answers that you're looking for. Amazing. All right. So as we wait for people to kind of pop their questions in there, if you had to say something to these ladies that are watching, these women that have literally we'll use that word, literally tried it all, literally don't think this program will ever help them or this protocol will help them in any way, shape, or form. I mean, you have pretty severe migraines. Cluster migraines are extremely painful and not easy to get rid of. What hope would you want to share with them based on your experience?
I remember the first morning that I woke up after starting the program, and I woke up with no headache. And I would wake up with a headache every day. This isn't when I was having clusters, but just every day. I would typically go to sleep with a headache, wake up with a headache. And the first morning I woke up with no headache, I was like, oh, this just has to be a fluke. I'm going to get up and I'm going to probably get a headache. I didn't get a headache. And I just waking up now, headache free. I get a good night's rest. I am ready I drink my water first thing in the morning. I'm ready to go do something. Before, I would literally wake up and I would have to drag myself out of bed. And it was like I had no energy, no ambition. I just didn't know how I was going to get through the day. So I just wished I would have found this sooner and earlier. So I would have felt so much better and enjoyed. I feel all the life experiences I missed out on, the events, I would get to a point where I wouldn't want to leave the house for fear. And, I was going to have an anxiety attack, that I was going to have a headache. Even when I wasn't having them, I was afraid to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I've seen so many improvements in my health all across the board, not just in headache, that I would recommend it unconditionally. I mean, I still get a headache. Don't get me wrong. But now, typically, if I can feel it coming, or I'll notice the prodromes, and I'll take my e-shot or do some salt, extra water, do a meditation. But for the most part, I can go about my business, my day, and I can get things accomplished and look forward to going places and doing things. Every 2 weeks I go see my grandchildren, and they're 3 hours away. But before, I would never even think about doing that, because I would be, what if I have a migraine while I'm driving? What am I going to do?
So now you have those tools and you know how to handle it when those things do come up, which is amazing, because that's migraine freedom right there. Knowing that you might have some pain here or there. There might be moments where, you're living a little way too close to that threshold, based on whether it's weather or cycle or choices that you've made. But to know that you have the power over your own health is just priceless. You're not reliant on a medication to save you.
No. You
can take care of yourself.
And I know that, people might have reservations at first, because it's, it does cost money. But when you're in the program, salt is cheap. Salt is really cheap. And honestly, when it came to the pantry clean out, I struggled on at first the nutrition module, because I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to eat? What am I going to do? And finally I was like, this is silly. Just do it. So like it says, just replace, if you need to, replace things as you go. When you get something out and it's not healthy, when you go to the store next time, replace it. So that's what I implemented. So really, being in the program, once you're in it, I'm not spending really any money. When I need to replace a beauty product or cleaning product, I'm going to replace it with a healthy one. But I don't have to go throw everything out and buy everything new right at first.
Absolutely.
So the initial cost was such a huge cost savings to myself and my family, because of all of the key areas that we're seeing improvement in. My husband sleeps even better, because now we have a nice sleep environment in our bedroom, and he sleeps so much soundly too.
Which is amazing. And I hear that from so many people, that it's not only their health that's improved, it's their spouse, it's their kids, it's the grandkids, because healthy habits and things that you're doing kind of start rubbing off. And what an amazing gift to your family to give them that opportunity to be a healthier person, so that they can enjoy life, live longer and not feel like you're managing, but actually living day to day. Because I'm sure that's how many of you feel, and that's how I felt for 10 years. Like I was literally managing my life, okay, what day do I have to take the med? What do I need to do today? What do I have to reschedule? It wasn't living. It was just managing. The migraine was in control, and I was the one that was like moving pieces around to try to get through everything I had to. And I know that's how so many of you feel. Oh, this is amazing. Thank you, everyone. Everyone is jumping on, giving hearts and loves, and really enjoying your story. So I can't thank you enough for being here today. It really is super important, I think, to be able to share our stories of success with women who are still scared. Let's face it, that's the bottom line. They're just scared that this is going to be one more thing that won't work. Because who wouldn't try something, if they knew 100% that they'd be migraine free. So thank you for giving them that little bit more hope today that this is possible for them. And if we can help anyone that is watching, please feel free to reach out to Valentina, Kathy, myself, any of the members of the team, and let's just have a quick conversation, just to see if we can help, and if we can, what that would look like. And if you have more questions, not for me, if you want to hear it from the actual women that are in the program, then ask them, ask Sheri, ask other people, put a post in the group, whatever you want to do. They're in here to support and help you as well, because they know what it feels like. 5 months ago, Sheri was who you guys are right now. But now look at her. She looks so happy. I love it. I love it. All right, Sheri, anything else before we go today? Any last thing you want to say, or are we good?
Well, no, I'm good. I just, like I said, I wouldn't hesitate at all if anybody were to ask me. I highly recommend the program. My only fear now is I don't want to leave the program. I'm in the community now, and I'm actually super excited to go into Destination Zero. But again, you guys are wonderful, and it takes a whole group, a whole team, the support, just having all of the tools. I know I can do it, but just being able to get on the coaching call still and listen, and if I have a question, I can still make a post. So it's just a great feeling to be a part of such a strong community of women trying to help other women that are all experiencing the same thing.
Well, thank you. I'm pretty happy with our community. I have an amazing team. The women that work for me that are coaches in our group, they all have had migraines, have used this protocol, and have found their migraine freedom, which is amazing. It's not like going to your neurologist that just has the training and has never had the experience. So it's wonderful for them to be able to support women like Sheri and everyone else. And then, as Sheri mentioned, the group itself. We typically have anywhere between 40 and 60 women in the group at a time. And the support that you ladies give each other is priceless. I watch it on a daily basis, seeing somebody post a question and, women in the group just jumping in to support and be helpful and share their experiences, which I really think moves women so much faster to that migraine freedom. 4 to 6 months is typically average, for migraine freedom. Some takes a little bit longer if we're working on, other health conditions and other specific things, but 4 months is not a bad time frame for somebody who's had migraines for any amount of time. I don't care if it's a year or decades. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty darn quick. Pretty darn quick. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to honor everyone's time and cut this now, but I really, really appreciate, again, Sheri, you being here. I appreciate everyone who's watching and taking the time to learn a little bit more about how they can find their migraine freedom. So let us know below if we can do anything to support you. And next week, our migraine strategy call will be on Thursday, normal time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. And Nikki Watts is going to join us again. For those of you who've been in the group for a while, Nikki joined us over the summer, and we did a talk on migraines and chakras. And her interview was so well received that she's going to come back and have a discussion with us on yoga, hormones, and migraines. So this is one I think you're all not going to want to miss. So if you're interested in that and want to make sure that you get tagged on the information, comment Nikki below, and Valentina and Kathy will make sure that you do not miss it. Even if you can't come live, we'll make sure that we tag you on the training so you can see it. All right, everybody, we are here for you. Here's to your migraine-free day, and we will see you in the group. You take care.